Hi, I'm Rashonda. I'm the creator of this YouTube channel as well as the artbyro.com website where you can find over 250 art and drawing tutorials. In today's video, I'm going to be drawing this fun, easy, super easy Santa gnome. These are so much fun to draw. All gnomes are fun to draw, but these little Santa gnomes, they're super cute and they're so easy and fun to make. And I'm going to show you how today in this video. So let's go on over to the art studio and get started on this tutorial. Okay, in today's tutorial, I'm going to be drawing a cute little Santa gnome, little holiday theme here. So we're going to start with basic shapes like we usually do. And one thing I know is that I want the hat to be pretty big. I like drawing the gnomes where the face is mostly covered. You know, they kind of got that oversized hat going on. And then just kind of draw an oval shape down at the bottom. Not a lot of guidelines are needed because this is such an easy drawing to do. So then here's our line of symmetry here. And let's go ahead and draw the nose. And I'll try to draw a little bit darker so you can see. Normally I wouldn't draw quite that dark. And then I want him to have a big mustache, and it's going to be kind of in this area here, and then kind of symmetrical on the other side. And I'm thinking maybe having like some individual strands coming out here maybe. There's a lot of different ways that you can draw these. And they can have beards, they could not have beards. I like to experiment a little bit and try some different things. Do something I maybe wouldn't typically do. Just to have some fun with it. Try to think outside the box and push yourself a little bit. So this is not how I would typically think to draw a mustache, but like I said, it's good to get out of your comfort zone a little bit and try something new. So now for the body, I'm thinking maybe have a belt coming down here and give him a little Santa costume, maybe with a big buckle. So you can put him in a little Santa outfit. You could make it more of an elf type outfit. And then I want the feet to be poking out of the bottom a little bit here. And then I might have the bottom kind of draped over a little bit. Like that. And you can erase as you go. These little click erasers are nice for that. So we'll have that come down. It's going to cover up his shoes a little bit. That's okay. And then for the rest of the body, it's mostly going to be covered up. We could do some little gloves coming down here. And then have the other one on the other side. We don't care too much about the belt. The buckle's there, so it'll look like he's wearing a little Santa costume anyway. Maybe just put a couple gloves. We don't really need any arms. It can just be just open there. And then the only thing we need to do now is to add in the details for the hat. And my phone wants to keep falling. That happened in the last video. Okay, so let me fix this real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that little technical difficulty there. We're all set now. So as I was saying, we need to do the detail on the hat. So it's going to have the little white part coming around the bottom. And then we could add some little folds coming in here. Have it come up out this way a little bit. And then maybe have some more folds coming up. So it kind of looks like it's scrunched up a little bit. And then of course we need to have the little white fluffy ball on the end of it. So I am doing this on toned paper, which isn't going to really matter a whole lot. It just gives it a little bit different look, but the process will still be the same. I am going to use some colored pencils on this one and not just markers. But other than that, everything's pretty much going to be the same. So let's go ahead and add an outline to this. So I'm using this Edding outlining pen. I just bought these recently. I've only used it, I think, one other time so far. Not entirely sure how I feel about them yet, since I've only used them once. But typically I would use my Sharpie pen. But I got these, and so I've been using them instead of the Sharpie pen. It doesn't really matter what kind of pen you use. You should use whatever you have access to, whatever your personal preference is. I don't know that one brand is necessarily superior to another brand. And it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. If I like a certain supply or brand, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the right one for everybody. So far, I like these pens. I used them in another drawing, and I didn't have any issues with them bleeding. They're easy to get them. They're available on Amazon. They're not super expensive. I think I paid $11 for a pack of 4, and it comes with 4 different sizes, which is nice. So I do like to try different supplies out from time to time. I tend to get comfortable with something and not try things out. So it was time. I hadn't tried any new outlining pens out for a while, and the Sharpies seem to be getting a little bit harder to find for some reason. So the timing was right. Got something new, and then it's just a matter of using it for a little bit, trying it out, and if for some reason I don't like them, then I'll just look for something different or go back to what I've always used. But all that to say, the brand of pens and markers and all that is more of a personal preference than anything else, unless you're a professional artist, which if you're watching this, I'm sure you're not. So if you're a hobby artist like me, don't get too hung up in the brands and the type of art supplies you're using. So that's about it for the light outline. You could always go back in and add a little bit darker outline around the edges if you wanted to. That's all just a matter of what your personal style is. So the next thing is to clean this up and erase all the extra pencil lines. So I just do that with this block eraser. You can use one of those pink erasers if you want. I just happen to have this one that came with, I think, one of those cheap artist sets that people like to give out as a gift for the holidays. And they're not the best supplies usually. But I happen to have this eraser. It works pretty good. It doesn't leave smudges, which I like. So just clean up those pencil lines. And then after you erase all the pencil lines, you might see where there's gaps in the outline. So just go back in with your pen. Add any extra little touch-ups you need. And then it is time to add some color. So I'm going to grab me some markers and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I typically do with my markers is I will check them out on a little scrap piece of paper first. Make sure that the colors will blend together. I like using a few different colors and then blending them together. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So what I'll do is I'll usually fill in a small area with the lightest color. And then I will take a similar color that's a little bit darker. And then I'll add that over top. And then I'll take the lighter color and go over those edges and kind of blend that in. Now this is just how I do it. Of course, there's different ways, there's different techniques. It's going to depend on the look you're going for and your style and what you like. So again, that's one of those things that you should do whatever looks and feels right for you. I'm showing you one way to use markers. So again, I'm doing gray, and then I will go back over some areas with the black, and then I can blend those together. So I'm doing mine on an artist trading card. I just cut my own cards out of a piece of cardstock, and I can get 10 blank artist trading cards on one sheet of paper, and then I just have them in this little storage tin, and whenever I want to do a drawing, I'll just grab one and I'm ready to go. I like doing my drawings on the artist trading cards because it's a lot quicker. It saves me a lot of time. And then I put them in a binder in sleeves that you might be familiar with from like Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards or baseball cards or something like that. And it makes a nice little portfolio of my drawings. And then I do trade them. So artist trading cards, the original purpose for them is that you make your art on these little cards and then trade them with people from around the world, which if you've never done that before, it's really a lot of fun. I've been doing that now for on and off for about 30 years. And it's a little bit time consuming because you do have to sometimes go to the post office if it's an international shipping, and you have to manage the trades and who are they going to and make sure you get them shipped out in a timely manner. So there's a little bit that goes into trading the cards, but it's a lot of fun. I got some really cool, unique drawings over the years. And then those also just go into a binder. And every now and then I can go through and look at them. It provides some nice inspiration. You meet some other artists from around the world that you can choose to stay in touch with if you want. But I like doing the artist trading cards because it saves time. I can do them a lot quicker. And then put them in a little portfolio, so instead of having stacks of drawings everywhere or having them in a sketchbook page, I can actually flip through them and look at them and see how I've grown and progressed over time, or maybe look at and critique them a little bit and see what areas I might want to focus on improving. But I like doing them on the smaller scale, doing my drawings on a smaller scale. It works for me. It's nice when you don't have a lot of time that you can actually finish a drawing in a reasonable amount of time and have that little bit of a sense of accomplishment. Instead of, before I started using the artist trading cards, it felt like nothing ever got finished. I would start a drawing, I would be really excited to do it, and then before I could finish it, that excitement would wear off and seem like it never got done. And I'm sure some of you have had a similar struggle. If you have, if you've experienced that struggle where you run out of enthusiasm before a project gets done, if you're comfortable doing so, share that in the comments. I'd like to hear about it and hear what your experience with that is, and if you've fixed it, and if so, what did you do to fix it? How do you get your drawings done and not run out of enthusiasm before they get done? Okay, so now I want to start adding some white in here, and I'm going to do that with a colored pencil since I'm using the tone paper. So I'm literally just going to fill this in with colored pencil. And then what I'll do is with a black colored pencil, so that's just white, with the black I'll add some shading in just to kind of break this up a little bit. And I could use gray too, so it would be a little bit softer, but I will probably just go back over it with the white and soften it up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up the white. I'll speed this up and I'll be back when I have that done. I have everything filled in. You can use color pencils, markers. You could add some extra shading in there if you want to. Whatever you think looks and feels right for you. Now to finish this up, for the background, since there's not much showing, I'm just gonna do a little bit of color around the edges. And this is kind of a bluish gray color. So you could just fill the background in. You could do some kind of a scene if there's room. You could do a solid color. And part of it will depend on how much effort and time you want to put into the background itself. I like to at least add a little something around the edges. Just to make it stand out a little bit. I'm thinking maybe something a little bit brighter color would look better. I don't know how much of the blue the camera picks up. And then maybe, because it's kind of a cold, snowy, maybe add some uneven edges around the outside. Give kind of that illusion of like that frosted look a little bit. And then I'm thinking I might add some snowflakes in here. Just put this around the edges. And then I like to use a white jelly roll for any additional highlights that I want on to go over top of the marker. The white jelly roll works really well. So I'm going to do a little bit of that when I get finished with this outside edge. Okay, so there's the background. A little bit of a border. Make this a little bit more uneven. Up at the top here. And then this is what the white jelly roll looks like. So you can add some highlights right over top of the marker. I like adding some highlights just because it breaks up those big areas of color. It adds a little bit of contrast to the colors. You can leave this part out if you don't like how it looks. And then maybe a little bit of a reflection on the black of the belt. And then for the snow, you just make some different sized dots. Or you could make something that looks a little bit more like a decorative type snowflake if you wanted to spend the time doing that type of detail. And then what I like to do with the snow is to make some bigger, some smaller. And I'm just placing them randomly in the background. One thing I think that's important is to make sure you're varying those sizes. Sometimes it's tempting to just make a bunch of dots all over, but you don't want them to look uniform. Move that up a little bit. So that's pretty much it for this little Santa gnome drawing. I hope you enjoyed the video. And I hope you feel inspired to do some of your own artwork. And I will see you in the next video. Happy creating! That's it for today's tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and hopefully you feel inspired to make some of your own Santa gnomes. If you did like the video, please hit that like button and subscribe if you want to get notified of future videos. Also, before you leave, check out that description box, and there's a free download in there for a PDF Beginner's Guide to Artist Trading Cards. So check that out too before you go. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!